Hello everyone. We are with you with another video of the Night Storyteller channel. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Activate the bell so that as soon as I upload a new video, it will come up to you and you will not miss it. At the same time, I will remind you of this story. According to the sender, it is based on reality and the names have been changed to protect privacy. It is up to you to judge whether these stories are true or not. I was born in one of the southern cities, and I have a sister older than me. I am the last child of the family. My father was a retired employee and my mother was a housewife. Our life wasn't bad. We weren't really rich, but we never regretted anything. My father was in love with a boy, but it didn't work out, and God had given him 2 daughters. My father loved us and tried to provide all the possibilities. He provided for us as much as he could. Let me say that my father always paid special attention to me. He loved me more than my sister. He always told me that Bahar has a boyish spirit and can pull his rug out of the water. During his studies, he was always an excellent student. I was in school and made my family proud. After high school, I was not interested in university and decided to work. However, my father was against it and wanted me to continue my education. I was hired in a private company and started working. I looked good and was one of the beauties of the company. A few people had their eyes on me, but I didn't pay much attention to them and I didn't mix with them. I was 31 years old when I decided to get married. My suitors became less and less until my aunt's son Hamid, who had already divorced his wife, came to be our suitor. After our suitor, my relationship with Hamid became warmer and my phone contact increased. A shoe that either Hamid or no one, despite everyone's opposition, Hamid and I got married. I wanted everyone to think that Hamid's first wife was to blame for the disintegration of their lives, so I asked Hamid to prove to everyone with his behavior that his first wife was to blame for their divorce and Hamid. He is a man of life, but I was wrong. Hamid was not the one I thought. The biggest problem in my life was that he was together every night until late or until the morning. Sometimes he would go on a trip with his girlfriend and return a few days later without informing me. In addition, he had the same violent behavior and sometimes brutally beat me. 9 months later, I got married without the consent of my family. I also filed for divorce without their knowledge. I had been working for several years and had no financial problems. I rented it, and one night when he went on a trip with his friend, I packed my furniture and left that house. Hamid went crazy when he found out that I left the house because I knew their morals. I didn't let him learn my address. I gave up my rights and separated from Hamid. Now I had an independent life for myself and I didn't allow anyone to interfere in my life, but Hamid's harassment was endless. Wherever he sat, he said that I caused our divorce. And he found out that I rented an independent house for myself. He got so angry that he had a heart attack and passed away. My family blamed me for my father's death. His harassment continued, and he wanted to take revenge on me. He said that you caused our divorce and separation. Hamid, because he had already divorced once, he did not want this to happen again because everyone blamed him for the divorce. He had been working in the company for years. I used to do it, and I had a lot of colleagues. Some of them we used to organize parties and evening parties. One of my colleagues named Mina, who was more close to me than the others, always hurt me and told me about her life, that Mina was a very good woman and I loved her very much. I was close. Mina was married and had 2 sons. She had a good life and only occasionally complained about her sister-in-law. After my marriage and separation, I was in pain with Mina, and Mina also tried to calm me down and comfort me. One night when I was with my children, we had a party. For the first time, I saw Mina, Cameron's husband. Cameron was a rich man and had an influential family. That night, Hamid called me several times and threatened me as usual. When Mina realized that I was alone, she asked me why I was upset, and I told her about Hamid's calls and threats. She told her husband what happened and asked him to save me from Hamid if he can. Cameron laughed and turned to me and said, "Don't worry, leave it to me." I thanked him and said that if you can do something to stop me forever. "I'm sorry, thank you very much," I said this. But in my heart, I didn't take Camerano's words seriously. I thought that he said this to teach me a class and show himself, but a few days passed and there was no news of Hamid's calls and harassment. When I told Mina what happened, he laughed and said, "You haven't met Cameron yet." I don't know my number and where he got hold of it, but he used to call me time and time again on the pretext of Hamid and said that he didn't bother you anymore. When I said no, he said proudly that I did something so that he wouldn't dare anymore. Kamra was a rich man and we dated several times under various pretexts. He started to spend little by little, and under various pretexts he would buy me gifts or put money into my credit card. It was during these meetings that I felt attracted to him. I remembered that Cameron was a powerful and influential man, just what I wanted. In short, in my opinion, everything was over, and as a woman, I tried to charm him and win his heart. Cameron and Mina have 2 sons, and Mina, unlike Cameron, she was a faithful and religious woman. I understood from Cameron's words that he likes modern adultery. He liked to go with his wife to foreign ambassadors and have parties every night. I tried to be what he wanted. I changed myself. My colleagues, especially Mina, were very surprised by all of my changes, but they didn't know the reason. Finally, my work paid off, and after 3 months, Cameron proposed to me. Without thinking about the consequences of this marriage, I answered yes and became a lover to Cameron. He said that Mina is a believer and wears a chador. Her prayers are never eaten, she fasts, and she is a very good woman. We have a good life, but I would like my wife to be stylish and modern. I want to go to a party together. Cameron would like to have a classy and modern wife, because of his influence and wealth are hidden, and I married him away from the eyes of others. After marriage, I found out that Cameron was using opium, and every day he would spend hours on the table just to see me. Cameron said that Mina doesn't know anything about my addiction. I don't want her to know because she will be very upset, but I didn't care at all. He had a new life. He showed me his happy side. I didn't have to worry about money anymore. Whenever I wanted, I could go on a trip. Whatever I wanted was available to me whenever I wanted. I went to the market and bought whatever I wanted. Mother and my sister, who saw my financial situation from here to there, I was very happy to communicate with me little by little. In my opinion, money was the solution to all problems. After marrying Cameron, I didn't hear anything about Hamid until I heard from my mother that it was his job to be in the city. He had been arrested and imprisoned. When I told Cameron the story, as he was arrested and smoking opium, he said, "You don't know me yet." I always said that no matter how loyal the dog is, he should always have a collar around his neck. I am incarcerated. His ex-husband, Bahar Khanum. I just found out that Cameron is the reason for the imprisonment. Hamid has become, but the collar he said was not very strong, and Hamid was released from prison after a few months, and with the help of his friend, he understood what was going on. Mina was from Cameron and I's marriage. When Mina found out, she couldn't believe it. She wasn't a fussy person, but with the influence she had in the company, she made me get fired from the company within a week. The next night, Cameron came to our bed to comfort me. We were in a relationship when Mina appeared in the doorframe. I don't know how he found the key to the house. We were shocked and lost our hands and feet. My 2 sons were with him, and Kamrani, who was a symbol of strength and greatness for me, was in front of me with his son in his hand. And he fell at Mina's feet and started crying and begging Mina to forgive him, but Mina only said that I didn't bring these children from my father's house, so it's yours. Then she scared her son and left the house towards me. I couldn't believe it. I felt I'm dreaming. That night, Cameron took his son without even saying goodbye to me and left. The next day, something worse happened. Hamid chose Cameron when Cameron was taking his children to school. With a fake accident, he started a fierce fight with Cameron. Cameron got out of the car and fight with each other. At the same time, Cameron's little boy, who was very scared, ran to the street to escape and crashed into a car that was going at a high speed. Cameron's son has been in a coma for 3 months now. His eldest son is shocked after seeing the scene of the accident, and he can't even speak a word. Mina also filed for divorce, and Cameron divorced me in absentia because of abusing the facilities he had in Cameron's prison, and Hamid is on the run since that day. I lost my job. I lost my life and my family. There is not a moment that I don't regret and wish that time could go back so that I don't repeat these mistakes. I know that I am guilty, but I regret it from the bottom of my heart. Let it be a lesson. Thank you for supporting us by liking and leaving comments.